anyways. Pete Rose and Shoeless Joe Jackson have been removed from the permanently ineligible list. What does baseball do with the steroid folk?
Yeah, because it seems like, and what you liked about this was the statement basically is banned for life. Well, Shoeless Joe's been gone for a long time. Pete Rose passed within the last few months. Now they're eligible. What do you do with the guys here because they weren't banned?
No. I'm going to go back to, I'm just going to stick with what I said earlier. I actually, weirdly enough, I don't think there's a perfect answer here. Every time I think they should all be in the Hall of Fame, then I go, they broke the rules. They shouldn't be in. I myself am back and forth on it. I think I lean more towards everyone should be in the Hall of Fame that should, is eligible, that played well enough, but I think it's a goofy road. The way I've come to rest on this, at least right now, is that I think Rob Manfred actually made about as good a play as you could make. That's my opinion. I think Pete Rose was banned for life. Pete Rose is dead. He's not coming back. He's not still alive. Neither is Shoeless Joe Jackson, who's been dead far longer than Pete Rose. I'm actually okay with the idea of if somebody suffers a lifetime ban and yet you want to kind of you want to put 2 feet on either side, you say, okay, well, your punishment is you're never going to see the Hall of Fame. You're never going to have your Hall of Fame speech. You're never going to unveil your plaque. You're never going to be there with your family. You will not walk this earth seeing yourself in the Hall of Fame. And I feel like that's punishment enough. Then after they're gone to satisfy history, then if they're voted in, you throw Pete Rose in, you throw Shoeless Joe Jackson in. And if you want to carry it over, then maybe Barry Bonds once he passes. Now all of a sudden he's eligible for the Hall of Fame.
And you're saying that because
or excuse me, he gets voted into the Hall of Fame
because of cheating the game in some version.
We're getting into now the reason whether I agree with what Pete Rose. Here's the thing.
No, not Pete Rose. I'm going to Bonds.
Oh, to Bonds.
And whoever else has been basically labeled a steroid player. I
personally think they should all have already been voted in.
Right.
I think Major League Baseball was suffering because of the strike law. I know that. I think people were basically looking like porcupines in the dugout with needles coming out of their eyeballs, and baseball knew everything about it, did absolutely nothing. They knew Victor Conti. They knew Balco. Yeah. And guess what? Chicks dig the long ball, said Tom Glavine. Sosa and McGuire, who were basically like that one dude in the football movie, The Program, Latimer, that just the coach, James Conn knew he was on roids, didn't care. It helped him win the title. Same thing. Baseball knew. And guess what? Baseball profited off of these guys doing steroids that are walking around right now with a couple of blueberries between their legs and God knows whatever health issues they're going to have. Baseball profited. I say, screw it. They all get in.
Yeah.
That's me.
I just think, again, back to the hypocrisy of saying that, I believe that baseball and a lot of sports would agree, like cheating the game or betting on the game is probably the biggest infraction you can do. Yes. I feel like sports in general kind of treat it that way. And I know there's nuance in different cases in here, but I mean, wouldn't the argument be like, why were they suspended or why weren't they suspended or why were they banned? Not even banned. I don't think anybody's been banned,
sure.
But it's looked down upon to take performance enhancing drugs.
That's right.
So they aren't in now. They've already passed the 10-year limit. I don't know when they get in. Do they have to pass? So now you're almost now equating those as the same thing, that even though they were never banned.
Yes. I don't think it changes anything ultimately. I don't think Rob Manfred changes anything for the steroid guys ultimately. They still got to get in. They still got to get voted in.
Yeah, which they're past didn't they just miss it this year?
Yes.
10 years?
And on top of that, nothing. There's no mandate now.
Right.
Just Manfred's thing affects Rose and Jackson and those guys. Eddie C. Cott and Buck Weaver and all those guys. Nothing. The steroid guys have always been eligible. There's been no banning for life. There's been no banning at all. So you would have to have these voters turn around and vote in the roid guys.
Yeah, which is funny to me because now you're asking people, mostly writers, to be the judge and jury on this when maybe the same group is voting on them to be MVP.
That's right.
The same group is voting on them to, all-star. Their fans vote on that. But it's a weird process. For example, this is probably a terrible analogy, Dave, but like, I don't think this was that big of a deal in football, but Tom Brady got suspended 4 games for Deflategate.
That's right.
I didn't think it was anything.
Same.
But the league did.
Sure.
Under terms, they must have thought that there was an advantage or he was cheating the game, right? Why else are you suspended for 4 games? Are you going to keep Tom Brady out? I know, again, it's not apples to apples here, but I just feel like there needs to be some consistency, and there's no way there's any consistency in any of this.
No, and I'm trying to think right now. There's got to be NFL players that are in the Hall of Fame for the NFL that use PEDs at some point.
Sure.
Also, by the way, when we're talking about PEDs, I always feel like we lose in the conversation. We're talking about banned substances because NFL players and to a point baseball players use performance enhancers all the time. They're using them today.
Yeah, well, even when McGuire admitted to, what was it?
Androstenedione.
It was not illegal.
That's correct.
So now I think he's lumped in. Now, was he taking others? I don't know.
Sure.
I mean, he's a massive man.
Yeah.
I just.
But you've got these guys taking greenies and crosstops that are all, they're basically, not all of them, but there's a number of them that are rolling out there like they just swallowed a nice little meth baggie.
Yeah.
And they're going out there with pupils as big as their faces. That's a PED.
Right.
But now how about this? How about you get the needle for the knee that's hurting you? Is that a PED?
Right.
What is the line? So we're talking about,
how about you get a prescription for Adderall?
Right.
PED?
Yeah.
So we're talking about banned substances.
Yeah, and
not
basically
PEDs.
anything that's helping you perform. And just like even the nuance of if there's something that you believe is performance enhancing that's helping you hit home runs or helping you stay on the field, whatever it might be, where's the infraction lie of stealing signs in the trash cans?
That's
the
right.
whole Astros thing. I mean, everybody's always looking for a competitive advantage. And
That's
I know
right.
there's people in the Hall of Fame that did their own version of competitive advantage. And I just think, again, there's a lot of hypocrisy.
There's talk about Pete Rose with steroid use and corking his bat too.
By the way, can we, and here's the thing we should be very clear about with Pete Rose. He bet on baseball. He probably used steroids. He probably corked his bat. Those aren't even the worst things he did.
Yes.
Like, let's just be really clear. Like, he was a horrific human being. Like, he was a really bad human being. Like, not a great guy. Okay. So,
but that doesn't keep you out.
No, it does not. Ty Cobb's sitting there right now.
Sometimes it helps you.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. If I was a commissioner of baseball on day one, Shoeless Joe, you're in. Pete, you're in. Barry, I would appoint a committee to take emotion out of the equation. And I would take all the players from that era, Sammy Sosa, Mark McGuire, Barry Bonds, Rafael Palmeiro, Roger Clemens, Alex Rodriguez, on down the line. I would average out the modern day numbers for the Hall of Fame, bats, home run, anyone who's above that line, they all go in together in the wing of Cooperstown that we call the steroid era.
Yeah.
They will forever have that.
It should be explained. And
100%.
What does this mean? Well, this was
you have a whole thing. It starts with the strike and why the strike happened. Then you move on to the next thing and how steroids and Victor Conte and Balco and all that. And then and by the way, not only do the players have that stain, but Major League Baseball also acknowledges that they had a hand in looking the other way. It's not whether it's the 1919 Black Sox scandal, whether it's the fact that for many, many years, Major League Baseball owners said, hey, black guy, you can't be on our field. Right. Hey, black guy, you can be on our field, but you got to ride in the back of the bus and you can't go into this restaurant. Like, this happened. They did it.
Right.
They've acknowledged it.
Yeah.
It's part of the history.
Well, and even to the point, I know we got to break, but like there was a lot of talk that some of the different commissioners over time, I think, would have put Pete Rose in if he admitted. And so now we're just working on, which that's his own crutch that he never did.
Yeah.
But if he had, I think someone would have put him in. And now it just feels like everybody's got a different policing of this.
There are those who say, as we go to break, and I don't have trouble believing this, that Pete Rose was blackballed from any chance of getting the Hall of Fame all those years because most baseball people, especially those in the commissioner's office, blamed him directly for Bart Giamatti dying.
It was pretty shortly thereafter.
It was right after. And who knows? But that was just a whole messy thing. We'll take a break. When we come back, the NFL schedule is released today.